Look at these pictures. You know all the faces, don't you? Unless you were living under a rock in 2023, you know exactly what I'm going to talk about next. So, let's not talk about it. Now, look at this picture. I'm sure you know them as well. The question is, why do you know them? I know you probably said they're famous for being famous. However, that was not what I asked. I asked, why do you think that they are famous? Let's see a hypothetical example. Imagine that you are a content creator who makes vlogs about anything that you feel is important. During one live session, something private, sordid, or embarrassing happened either to you or in the background. What do you think will happen next? Apart from the impact it might have on your personal life, your viewer count and subscribers would increase exponentially in a short time. Most of these new viewers might have little interest in your content. But because one of your pieces of content has a slip up of some kind, you have everyone's attention. At least till the next thing happens to someone else. There are some components of sociology, evolutionary biology, and psychology embedded in this behavior that have evolved to adapt to the modern world. Private, sordid, and embarrassing information about people has always been one of the most powerful fuel for gossip. The most powerful and ruthless can be brought down by it. In that sense, gossip was often a tool of the powerless. A study published in the Proceedings of National Academy of Science implies that gossip evolved because it helped spread information about people's reputation. Once people know that their actions will become the subject of conversation, they have a stronger incentive to cooperate and behave well. In other words, gossip did more than entertain. It helped communities keep track of who could be trusted and who could not. The links to all studies and research articles referenced in this video are in the video description if you would like to read them later. Imagine that I was living in the 16th century in a village that had around 70 to 80 families. Almost everyone knows everyone else. Whichever aspect of my life is the gossip material for the village, it also becomes a deterrent for everyone else in the village. Let's say I am in trouble with the law only by association. People in the village will be gossiping about this. Then someone will remind everyone how I was a troubled teenager and was once a part of the boys group that stole chicken for a fest. So that will become my image and my presentation to the law by the villagers. No father and no family will allow their daughter to marry me, and that story gets told to children as a warning not to steal. Gossip can be of various kinds. Some damages reputation, some build it, and some get exaggerated out of proportion. It keeps the social reputation system intact because we are gossiping about the people of our village or something that has happened in the nearest town. That is, the topic is always local. In such scenarios, some gossip of today becomes stories of tomorrow. Over several decades, some stories become legends, and over a few generations, some legends become myths, giving a common ancestry to the society. So gossip played a crucial part in the building and maintenance of society at every level, because irrespective of the hierarchy, gossip remained local. In the modern world, urbanization is not about geography anymore. Technology and communication are making it possible for people to think similarly irrespective of geographic locations. We can say that the behavior survived after the environment that gave rise to it disappeared. One possibility is that algorithmic attention systems may be weakening the incentives that once pushed people toward local participation. None of this happened overnight. It has evolved with every new form of mass and now algorithmic media. Here is an interesting example from May 2007. This was possibly one of the most publicized picture from that time. Britney Spears giving herself a buzz cut. Maybe this one was the second most publicized. Lindsay Lohan's mugshot from her first arrest. Did you know a few days before these pictures were taken, New Century Financial filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy? And Federal Home Loan Mortgage Corporation or Freddie Mac announced it would no longer purchase risky subprime mortgages and mortgage-related securities. Essentially, it began the reverse countdown to the 2008 financial crisis. Meanwhile, India was reeling from a different kind of crisis. On May 18, 2007, there was a bomb blast in Hyderabad, India, which was followed by communal riots. We mostly remember the first two stories, but not the last two. Here's the thing though, people who paid attention to the New Century Financial story were more prepared for what was to happen to their wallets for the next 15 years. And people who paid attention to the Hyderabad blast story understood what would be the social and political scenario in India for the next 20 years. Almost 2 decades later, we seem to be consuming similar but endless streams of unresolved social and political drama. Every few weeks, we are jumping from one to the next. And we don't care about resolution because we are looking forward to the next spectacle. We want even our politicians to be sufficiently entertaining to capture our attention. Imagine a 20-year-old male college student returning to his hostel after being dumped by a woman he had been dating for several months. He tells his roommate about what happened. His roommate says, "Man, that's rough, but I keep telling you, women are gold diggers." The young man says nothing. The roommate continues, "There's this guy I follow online. He explains all of this. You should listen to him." The young man asks, "Why?" The roommate says, "Because he understands how the world really works." That evening, the young man watches a video of this influencer, then a few more. Then the recommendation algorithm takes over. The content was not designed for a happy, confident young man. It was designed for someone exactly like him, hurt, confused, looking for answers, and willing to listen. Slowly he begins seeing the world through the eyes of the influencer. This is an example of a parasocial relationship. If that scenario feels familiar, that's because it has become normal. The type of celebrity varies based on geography, age, sex, circumstances, vulnerability, and level of current engagement. Almost all data-driven studies on parasocial relationship states that it has rapidly spread over the past 1.5 decades. A multi-dimensional study concurs that parasocial relationships lower self-esteem due to increased social comparison. We compare 30 seconds of someone's reel with 30 years of our life. In another study, it states that social media users who are repeatedly exposed to an influencer's posts will over time report a progression through the developmental stages of the parasocial relationship, from initial attraction to deeper form of connection, such as intensification and integration. These behaviors, which are becoming increasingly common, are both indicators and outcome of disruption of social coherence and the local gossip. Another outcome of the disruption of local gossip is the breakdown of society's reputation system. The system has served two primary functions in society: facilitating cooperation among its members and facilitating partner selection. An article in JSTOR states that gossip is used in daily life to impact and update reputation in a way that enables partner selection and indirect reciprocity. Imagine a young woman in her mid-20s. She is employed, independent, and earns a reasonable income for her age. Most weekdays are exhausting. By the time she finishes work, commuting, cooking, cleaning, and everything else that comes with adult life, she has little energy left. Like many people, she unwinds with her phone, social media, streaming platforms, and online shopping. She has been trying to date through apps, but nothing seems to work. One evening, she attends a party hosted by a friend and meets a man she finds charming and attractive. They begin dating. Over the next several months, the relationship grows more serious and she becomes increasingly invested in it. 2 years later, she realizes that the relationship has become controlling. Large parts of her social life, financial decision, and daily routine now revolves around one person. Leaving the relationship takes months of emotional turmoil. Now consider a different possibility. The issue is not that local gossip would have magically prevented the relationship. The issue is that local gossip functions as an informal reputation network. Had she been a part of close local community, she might have heard why his previous relationship ended. She might have learned how he treated former partners. She might have discovered patterns that were invisible to her at the beginning. The information would not have guaranteed a different outcome, but it would have given her more information with which to make a decision. These examples may not match her exact life experiences, but that is not the point. The point is that gossip is not merely idle entertainment. For most of human history, it acted as a distributed reputation system. When the system weakens, people lose access to information that once helped communities cooperate, build trust, and evaluate risk. Declining local social participation makes people pay more attention to algorithmic content, which provides a similar kind of information about people we will never know. Local reputation network collapses, opportunities for trust and cooperation declines, and causes more isolation. Essentially, a system born due to people becoming isolated feeds into the system that creates more isolation. It should not be surprising to me that certain aspects of my life have little or no traction, given that I have more curated, PR sanctioned, and algorithmically pushed information about some pop artist or national or international politician than I know about my neighbors, local politicians, and local communities combined. You and I would rather see a curated reality on screen than a messy reality everywhere else. It is not that good and productive communities don't exist, but such communities have become niche and mostly not local. Open source software projects, online writing forums, and gaming discords can be productive communities. These communities are good for human connections. However, they do not fill the gap that has been left behind by the absence of local gossip, because most of them exist online and participants can be from anywhere in the world. Meeting like-minded people is good, but meeting only like-minded people limits our outlook. Studies show that local activities such as bird watching, trail hiking, community walking, board game clubs, gyms, sports and activity clubs are better community builders. Studies have also shown that even organized hiking activities such as community walking groups have been shown to reduce health inequalities, strengthen neighborhood relationships, and enhance community identity. From celebrity and political scandals to social media influences, from instructed and dramatized reality shows to television news dramatizing, showing good and biased TV in place of news. They all work in the same way and play the same role. You can say that it was entertainment, but was it only entertainment? How much of people's life are influenced by opera, The Real Housewives, or Keeping Up with Kardashians? How much of people's buying patterns, lifestyle choices, and personal choices are influenced by people whom we are aware of only through screens? Accept it or not, but this is an invasion of our time. And everyone makes money because we are willing to give our attention. We build television, newspapers, radio, social media, smartphones, and recommendation algorithm, but we never created an equivalent mechanism for belonging, local participation, identity formation, and community maintenance. All these technologies are at their core tools for information. We can package them differently, redesign them, and reinvent them, but information remains their primary purpose. The problem is not the tool, the problem is forgetting that it is a tool. We are supposed to use these technologies, not be used by them. When I'm handed a hammer, I can use it to build a house or hit my own thumb. The hammer does not choose, I do.